Jason Askew, apologies for the late start, just a bit of an issue there, but it's all addressed. Jason Askew was in impressive form last week. His debut in the Icon of Darts Live League, and he breezed through the pack, to be fair. He was involved in a remarkable match. Vandy Jenkins saw the players share 12 180s, 8 of them for Jason Askew, and the match lasted 11 minutes and 18 seconds to play 8. The ability of Jason Askew. He's a big scorer, and he's a good addition to this phase. David Evans, Wessel Neiman, who kind of dominated things over the last 2 weeks, have their own little rivalry, and I think there's a third person to maybe add to that rivalry now, because this guy is the real deal. He hits a massive scores. His finishing needs to be a bit tight, but it's going to be very interesting. We also welcome back, obviously, Wessel Neiman, Martin Adams, Scott Mitchell, who's on his night off tonight, but a debut for the Russian Boris Koltsov, who's making steady progress. He's won on the Challenge Tour in the past, and he qualified for the World Championship on a few occasions. Jason Askew now, 1-4-2. The opening leg was looking for 2 treble 17s. David Evans way back on 2-4-6. So we expect Jason Askew to open up proceedings with a holder throw here. Yeah, had to go for the bull there, courtesy of Wayward Dart, the treble 16. So Evans now. He's been taking out some big finishes over the last fortnight. Key moments, and he set up the shot. Will it? If there is a glitch in Askew's game, it's the finishing. It doesn't prove so here. He holds throw in the opening leg.
On 40.
Jason Askew, the son of Dave Askew, who played on the PDC tour, on the BDO tour years ago. Remember him, seem to recall him being very unlucky on the tour one weekend. As you know, in the early days of the PDC, we used to have a rolling pot. £400 every event rolled into a 9-dart pot. On the Saturday, there was 12 grand in that pot, and Colin Lloyd hit a 9-darter. So the pot on the Sunday reset. Dave Askew hit one, and Phil Taylor hit one as well. So we got £200. 24 hours cost him a lot of money.
On 40.
This is good stuff again from Askew. Yeah, he finished the campaign on Saturday by winning the league phase overall and winning the daily league phase, topping it. He proved hard to beat. He did have a couple of glitches. He 5-0 drubbing against Jared Cole, which was one of the few off games that Jason had. He's been very consistent. But Dave Evans here just misses the 36, which would have been a 153. 18 remaining. Can I ask you take the 104? He went the sensible route, the 16s on the 104. You drift into a 7 or 8, the shot's still on. You go for 104 on the treble 20s, you drift into a 105, the shot's gone. David Evans, though, going to a last dart. He can't find, so that's 4 darts at a double already to level up. I can ask you, jump in. He can't. So he misses 2 at a double in this leg. Evans has missed 4. Here comes attempt number 5. Number 6, maybe. 6 darts at a double for Evans to level us up. Askew uses the marker. I don't think he's overly thrilled with that leg, but nevertheless, it's a breaker throw for Jason Askew.
180.
And we see the first maximum of the match. That goes to Askew. A quick run through of what we've got coming tonight.
40.
Wessel Neiman, last week's champion, kicks off his campaign at the Night of the Darts this week against Martin Adams in the next game. Then we see Boris Koltsov play Jason Askew. We've got Adams versus Koltsov, Askew versus Neiman, Evans versus Adams, Koltsov versus Neiman, Askew Adams, and to cap off the night, Evans and Koltsov. Jason Askew looks like he's going to cruise to a 3-leg lead here. David Evans just not getting to grips with things so far. He's staring at a 3-0 deficit. 24 for Askew.
80.
Just the wrong side of the wire, but he'll be back. Evans, you probably got to forget about this leg. 60 scored.
Game into.
And Askew finds it with his 3rd dart. A 14-dart leg opens up a 3-leg gap. Jason Askew, I did play a lot better than this last week. I mean, he's got a 3-leg lead, but Dave Evans just hasn't got out the blocks yet, but that'll help. Slow start from Evans.
On 40.
And Askew almost following with a 180 of his own. Imperative that Evans wins this leg. Can't see him come back from 4 down against. He's well on his way to winning this leg and might just do it with the perfect leg.
134.
It's a good leg from Askew, but he's nowhere near here. Dave Evans, oh, he's in. Double 12. And he just comes inside on the double 12. What an effort. What an effort from David Evans. We've seen Wessel Neiman wire a double 12, and David Evans was in the width of a wire of seeing our first 9-darter at a Night of the Darts.
$93.
David Evans, though, he's to get this job done now. Can he do it in 10 darts? Down for double 3. Yeah, we're getting a bit messy now, and this would hurt big time. If Askew could get rid of the 134, he may look at 2 treble 19s. 2 treble 17s.
94.
94, so he sets up the shot. So Evans got to be careful about drifting inside again here. He has. Always awkward coming down for double 3. As it's proving. And David Evans from wiring a 9 darter looks like he's going to lose the leg. Yeah, and Askew finds it. A real kick in the teeth for David Evans. He trails 4 legs to 0. You can't see him coming back. We have seen a couple of players come back from 4-1 this afternoon.
180.
We saw James Hubbard rattle off 4 legs to come from 4-1 down against Andy Jenkins. Adam Huckvale surrendered a 4-1 lead against Diego for Taylor. So
140.
Jason Askew in no mood to be messing around in this last leg. Picking up where he left off last week. And Evans is just going to have to dust this one off. It's just one to forget. He hasn't had many of these games, to be fair. He's been really consistent. Probably entitled to an off game.
31.
This is pretty special from Jason Askew. He's a potential 10 dart. I think he may go for the ball as well. Certainly will now. I think that 80 scored. Yeah, he's got 6 stars to tidy up, so he might as well go for the ball for a 10 dart leg. No. What do I know? 12 dart leg for Askew.
42.
Should have gone for the ball, Jason. David Evans, is that his last act in this match?
Oh, 4.
No, and Askew's turn now to miss doubles. And you have to say it'd have been a bit harsh if David Evans was whitewashed here. He still may be. He isn't. He feels he deserves that, so he pinches a leg now. A leg where players shared a 180 apiece. Askew's fluffed some match darts.
100.
Some for David Evans. Askew's average still up at above 95. Evans up towards 90 now, 88 and a bit. He started the game too slow and fluffed his lines in leg 4.
140.
Oh, looking good to get another leg back here, David Evans. He's only 1 break down, but courtesy of Askew winning the ball, if he clawed that break back, Askew would have the darts in the side in leg.
57.
Askew has another chance now, albeit a biggie. 161. A treble 19 or a bull. You see some players go for the bull on that last dart just to leave the 2 dart a single number double combination, but David Evans now. The darts, and you heard him himself. A fair way away. So Askew now, more match darting coming, 2 more in fact. He only needs 1 and finally gets the job done. Convincing performance from Jason Askew. David Evans wires a double 12 for the 9 dart, but that was the one sort of highlight for him. It's 5 legs to 1, Jason Askew, and he's picking up where he left off last week. And we're about to get underway with game 2, which features 3-time world champion Marin Adams. And the man of the moment, you'd have to say, in these live leagues the last couple of weeks, Wessel Neiman. He lost out on leg averages on the first week, but he didn't make that same mistake at the Night of Darts last week. He was a well winner last week. He won all his encounters against Marin Adams, which was a big match for Marin Adams to open up his campaign tonight. We'll get to the players now who are going to bull up for the start of this match.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. $25.
25. 25.
Outside.
All the best, Martin.
It's our champion from last week, Wessel Neiman, to get us underway. He's been impressive over the last
58.
fortnight. Marin Adams did have some highlights last week. It was a bit of an up and down campaign, but never got fazed by defeat or back-to-back defeats. He just came back and did his thing, just like Marin Adams does. That's why he's won 3 world championships, he's won 3 world masters, and the pressure will mount on Wessel.
140.
The pressure on himself, and the players will want to beat him, want to stop him. And as we've just seen, his main rival, really, from the last couple of weeks, Dave Evans, get well and truly rolled over by Jason Askew. And he's going to be a tough opponent for Wessel.
171.
This is a real bright start. Sensibly start switching down the board. It's a 171. In the preview, Wessel won all 4 encounters last week against Marin Adams, so he's got a change for Martin if he's going to get over the line against the Dutchman.
81.
Did produce a good performance on the last day, Martin Adams, defeating
81.
David Evans. And he trailed in that game as well, so he dug in deep.
Game in 2.
But that was his only win of the day. Wessel Neiman starts confidently. 14 dart holder throw.
$43.
And Adams getting us underway in leg 2 here. Reminder, it's Scotty
58.
Mitchell. Has his feet up tonight, enjoying the action. He rejoins us tomorrow. The night of the darts on Friday night, Scotty Mitchell
41.
give his fans their money's worth. 4 matches played. All games going to a deciding leg. And he won 3 of them, losing out on 1
100.
occasion. But Scotty Mitchell was a tough customer last week. He had an impressive debut week. Had a couple of sloppy performances, but he'll be more at ease with the format this week, and he'll be tougher again.
140.
It's an intriguing group, and we add Boris Koltsov into the mix. We see him in our next game. It's Jason Askew.
180.
First maximum of the match. We have seen a 171 from Wessel, but that's the first max.
$81.
Wessel Neiman threatening a breaker throw straight away.
$59.
I'd like to have left it handier than that. You know, Martin Adams to leave a 2-dart from the 196. Not going to now.
41.
Yeah, that's careless for Martin. Just giving Wessel a cushion in this leg to break. Treble 20 for double 12. Treble 16 in
88.
his last start for sure, and he picks off the treble 16. Wessel Neiman will expect to return for the double 8. And he will return for the double 8.
26.
Game in 2.
It's a breaker throw for Wessel Neiman. Hans will be disappointed how comfortably Wessel broke him there. He's off and running. Last week's champion already.
96.
He's a man to beat, you feel, again in the night of the darts. Jason Askew, though, a great addition. David Evans will always be there or thereabout. See what Boris Koltsov's got coming up. As I mentioned, we welcome Scotty
45.
Mitchell tomorrow night.
$140.
And Wessel Neiman did win a development tour, the last one of the year, on the last weekend before
100.
obviously play stopped. And he got to a semi-final that weekend, so important he keeps the practicing going. He was in a good place in terms of
98.
in the right way. He's had a debut on the European Tour last year in Gibraltar. He defeated Darren Webster in his opening round, 6 legs to 5, and he went down to Mensur Sulovic. But it was a good experience for Wessel. He's only a young man. He's got plenty more to come.
$95.
Wessel looking to consolidate this breaker throw. Wessel's average just shy of 100. Martin
92.
down in the low 70s at the minute. Just doesn't got going.
Game in 2.
And Wessel Neiman comfortably holds throw again.
$60.
And Adams kicks us off with 60.
$99.
Steady start from Wessel, but he's in a comfort zone here. Massive difference in the averages, big difference in the scoreline. I said it in the opening game when David Evans was 3-1 down. It's imperative that he hung on to the coattails and won the 4th leg with his darts. And I feel the same here for Martin Adams, just to work his way into this match.
100.
$70.
It's a better leg from Adams. Bit of leeway, and he's
65.
Wessel finds a 7 and a 1 along with a treble 19. So first bit of sort of relative comfort for Martin Adams in this match. 3-0 down, but he's
140.
would look to close out from here. He's down to a 2-darter. Getting his average up a bit now. He's still well off Wessel's, but a reminder, it's only one breaker through.
55.
$71.
Martin. This is his first double of the match. First couple of doubles. He'll be back. And it should be a holder throw.
121.
Game in 1.
And Martin Adams finds that opening leg of the match and now trails by 3 legs to 1. That was better from the 3 times world champion. He's off and running in this week's A Night of the Darts. He's got a leg on the
180.
board. But have to work really hard to break through, especially when Wessel Neiman's kicking off legs like that.
$100.
96.
You feel this is going to be enough for Wessel. He's got that cushion of starting the leg with a 180.
$100.
And Adams improving, but Wessel Neiman's kept this level. He's been around the 100 mark for the majority of the match.
65.
He's down to a finish already, but a 1040 would get Martin Adams back in this leg. And gonna get the
97.
finish. Does cover well on the treble 19s.
$100.
And Neiman will return to go within 1 of the match. And picking up where he left off.
$60.
Just a 60 for Martin Adams. So Wessel Neiman for a 4-1 lead, 20 for tops.
Game in 2.
And he goes tops 10s. But it's good enough. And within 1 of an opening victory.
$100.
Martin Adams now finds himself in a position where he needs 4 legs on the spin.
134.
Wessel Neiman will be keen to emulate the scoreline of Jason Askew by 5 legs to 1 in the opening match. Jason Askew returns in his second game of the night in
41.
a matchup that follows this against the Russian Boris Koltsov.
$140.
Adams is first to a finish, and Wessel isn't going to leave a finish. So this is
43.
seen Wessel hit a couple of maximums in this match. He actually hit 51 180s during play last week.
137.
It's 14 ahead of his closest challenger in that group, Richie Edhouse.
100.
Obviously from this group, we've lost Richie Edhouse. Richie Edhouse and Raymond Van Barneveld having a week off. Martin Adams gets back within 2, but his breaks a throw he needs. He needs 2 of them. And he needs the remaining 3 legs of this match. He's got the first one, but that was only a holder throw. And Wessel Neiman is starting well. And yet again, he did it in leg 5. He started with a maximum. He's done it again here. And when you need breaks a throw that Martin Adams does, it forces him to do this. But can he?
180.
And he does exactly the same. Brilliant stuff from both players. But Wessel Neiman has that advantage of throw, but
55.
has that 180 for Martin Adams just put him off his stride slightly, because he'd been thinking, perfect start, let's get on and win this leg. Maybe not expecting Martin to fire back with one straight away.
140.
Good stuff from Adams. A few people would have wrote him off when they saw him 4-1 down.
134.
Down, and Wessel goes up with a 180, but he's hanging in there. Still got a bit to do, but The potential of a 10 darter, that's gone now. I suppose he could have gone treble 20, treble 17 and gone for the ball, but he wouldn't have done that. And done his good work, really, Martin. 180 and a 140 and a 45. And Wessel now, thinking he's looking at treble 14, doesn't look any room, and he did. He's gone a bit wild. So that's 77 scored, 55 remaining for Wessel Neiman.
No score, I guess.
Yeah, if he's bust his score there. Yeah, he had 77 scored, yeah, 55 remaining. Johnny Clayton, eat your heart out. Wessel Neiman busts his score on 132.
96.
And Martin Adams sets up the shot. So the combination starts again for Neiman now. He should have just been laying up a big 15. $19 for double 18, obviously, but it's a real careless start.
52.
Game in 1.
And Martin Adams punishes. Good leg for Martin Adams, 13 down. And that was after Wessel started at the maximum. We're back on throw. Adams will have to find another breaker throw, courtesy of Wessel winning the bull, but spirited performance from Wolfie.
180.
And he starts the leg again with a maximum. So Wessel Neiman has work to do.
39.
I think the key is here as well. Wessel Neiman had, for the majority of the match, averaged up 100. Adams well down the 80. Martin Adams actually averaging more than Wessel now.
180.
And he fires back with back-to-back maximums. We've seen David Evans earlier on tonight miss double 12. Can Martin
57.
Adams go one better? Treble 20. Treble 19. He just falls short. Good effort from Martin Adams, but
89.
he's looking odds on to send this to a deciding leg.
60.
A massive cushion. So Martin Adams, 20 for double 16.
Game in 3.
Yeah, he finds it with his third dart. So a 13 dart as a break and a 12 to hold. Martin Adams forced a deciding leg. Wessel Neiman, who was cruising at 4-1,
140.
started to the 140. That's okay. But he started the last leg when he threw for the match with 180 and Martin Adams came back. Wessel probably was the architect of his own downfall. Bust 132.
125.
And this is a good spell of play from Martin Adams. He's not done yet.
$60.
And Martin is punishing Wessel Neiman here.
140.
And he has a lead. 65, but Wessel Neiman's at the hockey now.
100.
And it's only a 10. Martin Adams, from 4-2 down in particular, has found a real purple passage of play.
95.
And he finds a treble. That could be an important treble with the last dart. He's down to 141, this time after 9 darts thrown. The previous leg, it was 6 darts thrown.
105.
Oh, Wessel Neiman. Leave 96 a 2 darter, but will he get a go?
$109.
So Neiman's under pressure. 96 has to go. 36
Game in
tops.
3.
What a finish from Wessel Neiman under the severest of pressures. He wins the opening matchup of his campaign this week, but Martin Adams with a spirited display. He trailed by 4 legs to 1. He had 1-4-1 on the 9-dart finish in the 7th leg, but he couldn't quite find it there. Wessel Neiman with a 96 combination with Martin Adams on 32 gets over the line by 5 legs to 4, and we'll see both players a bit later on. And we're about to get underway in match number 3, where we welcome back with an impressive victory. Evans by 5 legs. But he takes on Boris. Fantastic challenge tour. Final of a World Cup. He hasn't on the main tour, but you feel it's just round the corner. But this is a massive challenge for him. Jason Askew hit 62 180s last week. He's a big scorer, and it's going to be if Boris can keep up in this game. But we're going to pass over to the players now. We're going to buller, and we're going to get this match underway.
Okay. Outside.
Both players just bulling up here.
Outside 2.
Both players slipping outside. So this time, Jason Askew will throw for the ball.
25.
He's already played tonight. He's beaten Dave Evans 5 legs to 1 comfortably. Really had a little scare with the 9-dart leg against him, but he's won the ball here, Jason Askew, and he'll get us off and running.
$29.
A slow start from Jason Askew. 29 scored.
100.
And a turn for Boris Koltsov. As I said, he's got very nice action. He hasn't quite made an impact on the main tour. We've seen him in the World Championship on a few occasions. He got railroaded by Chris Dobie a couple of years ago at the World Championships. This year, he did get a set off Richie Edhouse, incidentally the player he's replacing this week. But in the end, Richie Edhouse won out a comfortable winner. But it's a good start for Boris. His first 180 already.
85.
He certainly adds some quality to what was already a quality field in this group. Keep going on about
80 score.
And look at the bouncer there. We talk about David Evans, Wessel Neiman, who showed another side to his game there. He's been railroading players, beating them with ease, but then he had to dig in. He was in cruise control. It looked like he was going to win 5-1. Back came Martin Adams. Leaves 32 in the last leg. Wessel takes out 96 with a double 18, double top combination. It was an impressive display, but this is an impressive opening leg from the Russian. He's going to get a 3 darts to break the Jason Askew throw.
42 plus 57.
Just checking the score. 99 scored from Askew. But Boris has hit the double 16. And he takes the opening leg with a 13-dart breaker throw. Confident start from Boris Koltsov.
100.
We recap this afternoon's action. Paul Nicholson, the asset, wins 4 out of 4. Impressive display. Andy Jenkins in second place.
140.
But a great start to the week from Paul Nicholson. We did see him in the first week of the Icons of Darts Live League win a league phase with 4 wins from 4. But not the beginning of the week. It was at the end, so he's got something to clutch to now. He's out in front.
45.
And Askew there, who's starting with a 140. Backs it up with a 23, but
180.
he hits his first 180 of the match. And I said in a preview before, he hit 62 180s last week. He was well clear of any opponent in his Icon of Darts Live League group. If there is a glitch, there's the doubles at times, but he keeps scoring like that. It's going to buy him time.
92.
He's come back well in this leg. It's Boris is first to finish. 16 or 20? 16 tops.
Gaming 3.
He finds the tops. Impressive start. Breaks in 13, holds in 15. Leads by 2 legs to 0 here.
100.
Ask you work to do here. Plenty to think about as well. Probably doesn't know a great deal about Boris Koltsov.
3.
Koltsov picks off his second 180.
$60.
A reminder from 11 a.m. tomorrow, the Icon of Darts Live League resumes. We welcome back Aaron Monk.
60.
Adam Huckvale has his day off. And it's Paul Nicholson, who starts off the campaign tomorrow against Diego Portela from 11 a.m. He'll be looking for 5 wins out of 5.
$100.
Visit again from Koltsov, and the Jason Askew throw is under pressure again.
85.
A little glance at Boris's average, 108.81 at the minute. He's really settling in to a night of the darts. A 137 to leave 24.
Gaming 3.
Jason Askew, that's a big finish when he needed it as well. Koltsov was waiting on 24. How important can that be? But it was just for a holder throw.
140.
But impressive. Nevertheless.
96.
Switching from Askew. Could that change the match, that finish?
140.
Well, certainly not affected Koltsov. Back-to-back 140s in leg 4.
100.
Clinical display so far from the Russian.
131.
This is just incredible. Askew
65.
trying to leave a finish, but he's being blown away at the minute. He's hanging on in there. The only leg that he's managed to win was with a 116 finish.
Gaming 3.
Koltsov with a 12 dart leg to restore the 2-leg lead. 118 average. He leads 3 legs to 1. Askew ain't done yet.
140. 96. 100.
Ton. Just not giving Askew. Any let off.
100.
Askew's responding. Let's not forget Jason Askew
60.
is averaging just shy of 99 himself. He's playing well. He's having to dig in deep. He's having to work hard, but he's doing it so far. Big 16 or a 20. 69 scored.
49.
Oh no, sorry, it wasn't a treble. 49 scored.
135.
135 and Boris brings him down to 66. Askew knows this is a big moment to stay in touch. Needs the tops. Can't find the tops. Boris Koltsov now is 66 points away from a 3-leg lead, and it would be a second breaker throw. Long way back for Askew then. And he finds it. It's an incredible performance from the Russian. And you hear an acknowledgement from Jason Askew. He knows he's playing okay. But he's just got no answer.
39. 140.
140 for Askew. Koltsov started the leg poorly, so chance.
59.
So 6 darts out of treble for Boris Koltsov. Tiny bit of leeway now for.
134.
And this is the biggest cushion that Askew's had in the game.
140.
We talked about Koltsov's run to the World Cup quarterfinals in 2017. We saw an impressive victory where they
99.
defeated the Australians, Kyle Anderson, Simon Whitlock. 12 remaining. Askew 12 out of 20 now. He's laid up. What a way to crown what would be a real great performance from Boris Koltsov. It's not going to go.
124.
He does set up the shot, but Askew now. 3 darts at 32 to claw 1 leg back. Double 8. He needs this.
60.
And we did say that was the little clinch in his game, doubles, and he's missed 3. Surely it's game over.
Game in 3.
And he finds it with his 3rd dart. What a performance from Boris Koltsov. 105 match average, and it was just a sound performance. He got stuck into Jason Askew early. He had no answer. Askew's 1 leg was on a 116 finish. Boris Koltsov truly dominant in his first game, and an impressive debut for him at a night of the darts. He runs out victor by 5 legs to 1. is the great rivalry and David Evans, who won the first in the Icons of Darts ahead of Wessel Neiman on leg averages. Revenge last week for Wessel. He won the Night of the Darts Live League, so something's got to give. They've both had contrasting performances tonight. David Evans was beaten well 5-1 by Jason Askew, but Wessel Neiman dug in deep. He led 4-1 against Martin Adams, and he had to take out a big 96 finish in the deciding leg to get over the line there. I'm expecting big scores from both players. We're going to get underway now. We're going to pass over to the players for the bullseye.
Outside. Okay, man. All good.
David Evans gets us off and running. We've seen him wire a 9 dart already tonight, but went on to lose the leg. He missed double 12 by a whisker, but couldn't convert, and he had a game to forget, really, against Jason Askew in his opening encounter tonight, losing 5 legs to 1. Never really recovered from that missed 9 dart attempt. Couldn't get anything going, but has been impressive in the 2 weeks of the Live League. Played in the Icon of Darts in the first week, a Night of the Darts the second week, and runner-up on both occasions. Correction, he won the first week on leg averages, runner-up the second week. These are big rivals. The rivalry built up courtesy of the MODUS Darts Live League. Wessel Neiman dug in deep in his first match. He was cruising at 4-1. Then we saw
95.
Martin Adams reply with 3 legs on the trot, and he left 32 after 12 darts thrown in the deciding leg. And we saw Wessel Neiman on a 96 combination go 20 double 18 double tops. And Wolfie would have expecting a chance, but he didn't get one.
138.
Wessel Neiman sets up a potential breaker throw here in the opening leg.
137.
Evans does leave a finish, but expect Neiman to get rid.
Game in 1.
And he does, and that's a breaker throw early in this game for Wessel. Certainly going to look to back up last week's performance.
58.
He wants to win the league phase again. Putting behind in the disappointment of, as I said, he lost on leg averages the first week. We talked about Jason Askew last week. He hit 62 180s during the week. But his nearest challenger was this man, Wessel Neiman. He hit 51.
100.
Expect fireworks when them two play later on tonight. Reminder, we've still got Scott Mitchell to welcome into this group. He plays tomorrow night.
$58.
The sloppy scoring from Wessel the either side of the ton in this leg.
100.
David Evans opens up a gap of 80.
45.
He actually said off air when the game finished in his first match that he felt when he'd thrown the dart, the double 12, it was in. It was a well thrown dart. You often see players snatch at the double on the 9 darter, but what wasn't the case. He was just unlucky.
$60.
That leg didn't really get him going. Bad leg to lose as he went down. But he breaks straight back here. Impressive from David Evans. That's what he does well. He digs in deep. Has his throw broken. And like I said, he had that defeat earlier on in the night. You just can forget about it. They shared 2 victories apiece last week in the group phase.
$51.
They've dominated proceedings, really, the pair, over the last few weeks. But they have got a couple of new challengers. Jason Askew, who's already made an impact beating David Evans, but he's just been blown away by the impressive Russian Boris Koltsov, who averaged 105. He was in great form. Neither player will be relishing playing him later.
96.
We'll see the Russian return in the next matchup. He takes on Martin Adams. He never gave Jason Askew many chances. Askew's one leg he won was at 116 finish, and that was when Koltsov was waiting on a double. Askew, you could argue, let him off the hook in the last leg. But it was a real complete performance from the Russian. He's definitely going to be one to watch this week in a night of the darts.
135.
Evans looking to get in
134.
front. Had his throw broken in the opening leg.
Game in 3.
And he does hold, and that's a ton finish backed up by a ton 13 finish. Impressive stuff from David Evans.
58.
He's playing the better of the two. 10 points in the averages. He leads courtesy.
180.
There's his first max, David Evans. Forgetting about that opening match, really. It just didn't happen for him.
100.
$58.
Like I said, we've got Martin Adams and Boris Koltsov coming up next.
80.
And then there's the battle of the big hitters, Jason Askew and Wessel Neiman. I've already said Jason Askew hit 62 180s last week. Wessel Neiman hit 51.
133.
Could have a quick fire game there. Jason Askew was involved in a game with Andy Jenkins last week. 12 180s in 8 legs. The game lasted 11 minutes and 18 seconds. It was incredible.
134.
You could see something similar when them two got it later on. Dave Evans going to get a dart here for 3 legs on the spin, and it is. And this is impressive stuff. 3 legs to 1 he leads. He's finished 100, 113, 130 there on the ball. David Evans opens up a 2-leg gap on Wessel Neiman.
60.
$59.
What's Wessel Neiman got here? He was cruising in the first game, and it went to a last leg, and he had to dig in there. He's going to have to be the man to come from 4-1 down, it looks like this time, because
134.
David Evans has a 3-1 lead and hangs in his second maximum of the match.
91.
David Evans done the right things at the right time in this match so far.
100.
And Evans down to a 2 dart, and the way he's been
180.
finishing. Wessel adds a bit of pressure with his first maximum match. Is it all in vain? Double 16 for 4-1.
54.
Can't find it, so Wessel Neiman, courtesy of that 180, forces the error. Double 14. Double 7,
Game
always
two.
awkward switching down, not for Wessel Neiman. He finds it, and it's a break back.
100.
We were saying David Evans has done the right things at the right time, but the timing of that maximum from Wessel Neiman then, just to rattle David Evans when he's going for the finish, and it had the desired effect. We are back on throw.
180.
And Wessel Neiman there after his first 185 in the second one in quick succession. Back comes David Evans. And these two just enjoy playing one another. Like I said, they've built up a
51.
great rivalry in the last fortnight. Wessel Neiman now for a 170 checkout. Doesn't need to go for the ball.
58.
Then we welcome Scott Mitchell into a night of the darts tomorrow night. Wessel Neiman gets his night off early in the week this week, so he plays tonight and we see him back Wednesday. A reminder, all the action is on dartshop.tv tomorrow night from 6 p.m. and it'll be Chris Mason calling through the action tomorrow evening. I'll be here in the afternoon with the icons of darts with Paul Nicholson
96.
and Diego Taylor kicking things off at 11 a.m. Wessel Neiman. Big ask for David Evans. We have seen 3 10-plus finishes by him already. We're not going to see another one. Has left a double, but you'd expect Wessel to get rid of this double 8. He does with his first start. 3-1 down. We're now level. As we expected, a close encounter between these two guys, and they're not disappointing. David Evans with his 4th max. It's 4th in 4th leg, in the last 4 legs.
134.
David Evans, you can see average 102.16. Wessel 94 and a bit. It's good stuff.
70, 79.
79 score for Wessel. So Evans 6 at 221, maybe more. It's okay. 9 darts thrown down to 121.
100.
It's more than enough. No heroics needed from Evans here. Surely the ball won't come into play. You may see treble 15 or a treble 7 up. I went for the 25 and bull. He's at the bull. Tidy up. I don't personally go that way because I don't like the double 4s down, but David Evans feels confident. So
140.
140 from Wessel, but he stays in touch. But Evans makes no errors. A 13 dart hole to restore the lead.
$140.
Wessel now will be hoping to have another last leg shootout. He had one in the first game and he was triumphant. If he's going to be triumphant here, he needs one. Needs this leg and somehow needs to find a break on the David Evans throw. He found one in the opening leg of the match, but hasn't.
96.
Managed to find one in the 5th leg as well, but David Evans looked pretty comfortable.
$133.
Wessel Neiman down to 132. Evans is going to leave, you'd feel, 170 minimum. He leaves 132 himself. 25 at a bullseye.
42.
Yeah, Neiman found a 2, so chance for Evans. Even if he doesn't take it, Wessel's not left himself handy. And he's going to get a dart for the match here. Oh, no, it wasn't in the 25. My mistake, sorry. Evans lays up the shot and pressures 2 at 15 to Wessel, though. He needs this last one.
60.
And he can't find it, and you can hear by his reaction, David Evans is going to get match darts at 24. And he only needs
done,
one,
David.
an impressive performance from David Evans. He started the game slowly. Wessel Neiman broke his throw, but from there, David Evans was dominant. He had 3-ton-plus finishes, 4 180s in the match. He puts behind him the disappointment of that opening defeat to Jason Askew, and he renews rivalries with Wessel Neiman again by winning by 5 legs to 3. Coming up next, we've got Boris Koltsov and Martin Adams. Welcome back to .tv. Live underway. 3 times who pushed Wessel Neiman all the way in his opening match, losing out in a last leg decider, taking on the impressive Russian Boris Koltsov, who on his debut here at a night of the darts kicked off with a 5-1 victory against Jason Askew, 105 average. He was in impressive form, and he's going to take some stopping. It's going to be a tight matchup, I'm sure. The experience of Martin Adams, he won't lie down, but Boris Koltsov was in fantastic form in that opening game, and he's going to want to carry on. We're going to pass over now as the two players bull up. We'll get this game underway.
$25.
It's also 25. $25.
$25. $25.
25. Bullseye.
$25.
And it's the impressive Boris Koltsov who gets us up and running here in our 5th matchup of the night. If you're just joining us, you've missed Jason Askew win his opening game against David Evans by 5 legs to 1. Then we saw Wessel Neiman defeat Martin Adams 5-4. Then we saw this gentleman, Boris Koltsov, win 5-1 against Jason Askew with 105 average. And then we've just seen a quality performance from David Evans against Wessel Neiman. He won 5-3, and that game featured 4 maximums for Evans and 3 ton-plus finishes. Martin Adams, who dug in deep in that game against Wessel, just couldn't find it in the last. Well, he applied all the pressure in the deciding leg, leaving 32 after 12, but didn't get a go. Wessel Neiman took out the 96 with a double 18 double top combination. If Martin Adams can find victory here at the halfway stage of tonight's league phase is all level. Each player will have won 1 match each and suffered 1 defeat.
57.
Koltsov hasn't started as impressively did earlier on tonight, but he's still in the ascendancy in leg 1 here.
$43.
$43.
And both players in 43 in the last visit, so slow start. Koltsov contrast to his opening start earlier. He had broken Jason Askew in 13 darts, and he's halfway to his 2nd leg by now.
$60.
Jason Askew didn't really get a sniff in that game. He took out a 116 for the leg he won. He'd miss a couple in the last leg, but Koltsov was just too good. Adams here. Not going to get a dart at the double, but
52.
he went for the treble 12 his last dart to leave the 36. Martin Adams, will he be back? Double 14 for Koltsov. He's got 1 more dart at it.
57.
And Koltsov needed 13 darts to break in his first match.
Game in 1. Oh, sorry, game in 2.
He only needed 28 to win the first 2 legs. He's already thrown 21 in that one. It's Adams who breaks, I should say, with a 20 dart leg.
$100.
60.
Koltsov just can't recapture that form early on here from his first match. He's averaging 39 points less than his final
140.
average in the last game. Martin Adams has taken encouragement from the slow start from the Russian.
180.
Martin Adams played well against Wessel. Didn't beat Wessel in all 4 of their counters last week, but tonight's as close as he got. He was waiting on 32 in the last leg and didn't get a shot.
100.
90.
He's first to finish again here, Martin. And he could take it. Oh, he's fell into the treble too.
85.
Koltsov can just apply pressure,
93.
but Adams 76 to double his lead. 2 at double 8.
Game in 2.
Wolfie only needs 1, and he's 2 legs to nil to the good here.
$60.
Koltsov, he just cannot recapture that form. Yes, he had 180 in the last leg, but he was well on his way in his opening
100.
game. So a victory for Adams here, like I said earlier, would put all players on 1 victory each from the opening 2 matches.
100.
And would leave the league phase wide open.
$100.
It's the experience of Martin Adams, though. He wouldn't have been phased by what the average was of Boris Koltsov.
30.
Just the game of darts to Wolfie. He leads 2-0. He was 6 darts into the
100.
perfect leg against Wessel Neiman. Couldn't get the 7th, but like I said, from 4-2
60.
down, he's in really impressive form. And it looked like he was going to close out victory, but for a bit of magic finishing from the Dutchman. Again, Martin Adams, this is just steady stuff.
140.
Real good stuff for Martin Adams. 3 tons, 140. And he should get a chance for a 3rd leg on the spin and what would be a 2nd breaker throw.
7.
$14. 32 for the 3-leg lead for Martin Adams.
45.
Just goes inside. Boris Koltsov, big finish coming up. It's a long way back from 2 breaks to throw down. He's going to get 2 at double 12. Miss with the first.
60.
Misses with the second. So Martin Adams will return at double 8.
Game in 2.
Oh no, he does find it. It is in the corner. So Martin Adams breaks again. Now leads by 3 legs to 0. And what a contrast from the Russian we saw in the first game.
$140.
He now trails by 3 legs to 0. And got plenty of work to do. He's only had 2 darts at a double. And they were in the previous leg, which allowed Martin Adams to get a 2nd breaker throw.
21.
And Adams now into consolidate.
127.
At the 5th game of the night, that means what, 5 games remaining. Askew and Neiman next. Evans and
100.
Adams. Koltsov and Neiman. Askew and Adams. Boris Koltsov and David Evans wrap up things tonight.
140.
Not picking a winner of the league phase tonight. It's wide open, and even more wide open if Martin Adams throws his victory here.
$45.
Koltsov's looking
58.
like he should get the one of the breaks back here. It's a bit of a sloppy visit, I should say.
$60.
Yeah, Martin Adams, after opening the leg on his darts with a 10-40, should be in a better position, really.
3.
And Koltsov does claw one of those breaks back. A 15-dart leg and a little glimmer of the Boris Koltsov we saw in the opening match. Still got work to do.
60.
He'll be feeling a little frustrated up there. A little bit better now he's won a leg, but it's always difficult after playing such a great opening game. And you just can't really find that rhythm, that
100.
consistency in your second game. And Martin Adams will just keep chipping away.
140.
Some 40 for Koltsov.
$60.
$100.
Koltsov has 10-40 lead in this leg, so 201 points to close the gap to just one leg.
140.
Martin Adams levels up 2-1 apiece. Add that little bit of pressure on
96.
Boris. Talked about Boris Koltsov having that nice fluent action. His pairs partner when he got to the quarterfinals in the World Cup in 2017.
85.
Exactly the opposite throw of Boris Koltsov. Alexander Oreshkin. The real deliberate slow throw, and it could upset rhythm, and is a good partnership.
Game in 3.
And we see Koltsov with back-to-back 15 darters to get within one. Starting to find that form slowly from the opening match. Martin Adams still has the insurance of having one breaker throw.
100.
Starts the leg with a 10.
60.
$60. Reminder, this afternoon's action, Paul Nicholson won 4-4, ran out comfortable winner. We saw 3 debutants this afternoon, former World Youth Champion James Hubbard, Adam Huckvale, and the Brazilian Diogo Patel, along with Andy Jenkins. Aaron Monk returns tomorrow.
180.
In Adam Huckvale's place, he's got his day off. See Martin Adams put his first 180 into the match.
41.
Yeah, not enough for Koltsov. So Martin Adams, 6 darts minimum at 161. Look at treble 19 with his last dart.
137.
Finds the treble 19. Brilliant leg from Wolfie Martin Adams after a little mini revival from Boris Koltsov. He'd won the last 2 legs. Martin Adams is looking at potential 13 darters to restore a 2-leg gap and go one away from his first victory of the night. Across for double six. Doesn't want to drift inside. He's got time.
12.
Doesn't. It's just a sensible miss, I suppose you could say, but know when you're returning. Wayne Mard will call it professional miss.
100.
From Martin Adams. You don't want to start messing around with double three and double two and double one when it's unnecessary when you're so far ahead. So Adams now. He's got to go this time though.
Game in 1.
It does go this time. Martin Adams opens up a 2-leg gap again. He leads by 4 legs to 2 and he's 1 away from his first win of the night.
97.
$85.
Can Martin Adams find another break here?
85.
Clinch victory, or is the Russian going to, Boris Koltsov, going to make him throw for the match?
$135.
Koltsov is only 1 break behind. He won the ball, so if he can claw that break back, should it go to a deciding leg, he'll have the dart. And 140 there for Boris Koltsov. Just the picture on his board slightly a second. Martin Adams now. Can he reply?
140.
Yeah, just an amendment on the scoreboard. Boris Koltsov is actually on 179. Martin 141. 219.
97.
97. So that takes Koltsov down to 782. Martin Adams first to the crack at the 141. Not going to go, but you can leave this handy. Koltsov will feel the pressure.
100.
Yeah, finds a treble. Good dart from Martin Adams. Will it force an error from Boris Koltsov? Double top.
62 score.
It does force an error, so Martin Adams should get a couple of match darts here. 9 for double 16. He's going to need 2 of them.
Oh, I've lost it. 25.
Martin Adams there. This drifts inside, so Koltsov breathes again.
Game in 1.
And he finds it. He forces Martin Adams to throw for the match. Adams has mismatched darts. 2 of them. But he's got his throw now. It is difficult when you know you've had the opportunity to close out victory. You've got to throw again, but you wouldn't know looking at this from Martin Adams.
180.
And he hits his second maximum of the match. Koltsov comes back with a 140, but it's in Adams' hands.
$55.
Only 55 to follow up the 180, so opportunity now for Boris. If he can back up that 140 with another 2 treble visit, he's got 1. He's just the turn. Adams needs the treble 19 to leave a finish.
58.
Can't find it. Are we going to see a deciding leg again in a match featuring Martin Adams tonight?
140.
Koltsov down to 121. Disappointing return from Martin Adams after an opening visit of 180. Only scores of 55 and 58.
100.
He finds a turn. He's on 108, but Koltsov now. 11 for the bull.
96.
He can't quite find the bullseye, but a great effort from the Russian But is it going to be his last dart in this match? 108. Martin Adams going to get another match dart. And it's going to be at double 16 again.
Game in 3.
And this time he finds it. Martin Adams closes out victory by 5 legs to 3. At the halfway stage tonight, each player has 1 victory and 1 loss. The league is on a knife edge, but great performances from all, but very impressive for Martin Adams there. Koltsov couldn't find the highs of the previous game, but Martin Adams deserved winner by 5 legs to 3. We resume the second half of the league in just a moment with all players tied on 1 win apiece. It's going to be an intriguing second half. And what an encounter this promises to be. Wessel Neiman, both players are in. We've already seen tonight. Jason Askew was well beaten by Boris Koltsov. Wessel Neiman was beaten by his arch rival from the last few weeks, David Evans. But this one promises to be a thriller. Both big scorers, but they both have a little struggle on the double. And it's Jason Askew who's making all the early running tonight in the first game. But he's got to pick up after that 5 on the face. So we'll hand over to both players who are going to go balling up now.
Outside. 25.
Wessel Neiman is going to kick things off here. Like I said, all players in this group tonight have had 1 victory and 1 defeat. Jason Askew really impressive in his opening game against David Evans, but couldn't do a lot to stop the Russian Boris Koltsov, who averaged 105 and a bit. Wessel Neiman had similar fortunes. In great form against Martin Adams, tailed off a little bit at the end, but closed it out. But against David Evans, there's not a lot he could do. There was 3-ton plus finishes from Evans. So something's got to give here for the 2 players.
180.
Wessel was in the first maximum of the match in the opening leg.
125.
Like I said, these players are big scorers. Shared 113 180s between them last week in the
100.
live league. Both players winning their league phases. Clash of the champions from last week.
59. 89.
Good setup play from Wessel. Jason won't be too concerned here. It is against the throw. He's well back on 257.
125.
Make a little inroad into it, but you'd expect Wessel to close out. He does close out in 13 darts. It's an impressive start. A reminder of what's still to come tonight. David Evans next up against Martin Adams. Boris Koltsov against Wessel Neiman, for that will be his final match of the night. We won't see Wessel now till Wednesday after tonight. Has his day off tomorrow. We welcome Scott Mitchell into the league phase this week. And then Jason Askew faces Martin Adams, and Evans and Koltsov round off the evening.
$47.
Well, we expected maximums, and there's 2 already, both to the Dutchman.
96.
Askew on 180, so it's all about what Neiman does here. Get another one, he's on a finish. He finds another one, so a 180 and a 140 around a 147 gets Neiman down to 134, but brilliant setup play from Jason Askew. Great start from both players. Yeah, stays there for the 777. He had to.
120.
Just misses the 777, but I like that route. No point switching when there's plenty of room in the bed for a treble 14 or a treble 18. But Askew finds a double. 13 data apiece now. 2 holes to throw to start off this match.
80.
Which promised so much, and 2 legs in isn't letting us down.
140. 96.
Askew, if you can back up that turn 40 with another.
134.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, good covering from Askew, and he has a lead of just shy of a ton here on the Neiman darts.
134. 60.
Just a 60 in. Yeah, you can kind of hear the disappointment in Jason's voice there. After back-to-back ton-plus scores in this leg, a 60
140.
does get him a finish, but yeah, it's allowed Wessel to capitalise and forcing Askew really to take out the 167. That's not going to happen.
125.
So we've seen 2 13 darters already. We're not going to see any here, but potential for 14 for both players.
Game in 2.
It's Wessel who's first to the double. Hold again. Steady start from Askew.
140.
And Wessel Neiman tasted defeat against his big rival David Evans in his last matchup.
59.
Always hear the disappointment in him when he's defeated. He always wants to win 4 out of 4 every night and win the league phase comfortably.
60.
He saw David Evans miss double 12 on a 9 darter. We saw Wessel Neiman almost hit one in the last day of the week 1 of the Icons of Darts Live League. So the 9 darter ain't far away.
One, two, one.
Just drifts into the 1, and courtesy of drifting into that 1 for Wessel, he now doesn't leave a finish. It's Jason Askew off slightly. Askew's got a pounce.
65.
Doesn't really capitalise, so expect a layup here from Wessel Neiman.
1, 2, 3.
And Neiman again, 2 treble visit with a 3 and a 1 either side, but he's down to 57. But is he going to get a go? He doesn't get a go. Cracking finish from Jason Askew. 137, treble 19, tops. And we saw him do that last week in a game against Aaron Monk, which proved to be a turning point. Could this be a turning point again tonight? These two playing at a good pace as well.
140.
Four legs in. Big averages for both. A 115 for Wessel, a 107 for Askew.
97. 140.
Back-to-back 140s.
140.
Jason Askew. 2 140 and a 97 in life for Wessel.
93.
This is tight again. You feel we're destined for a last leg decider. That could be a turning point. A bounce out on the 1-2-4. Can't finish now. Can set it up nice though.
76.
And that's okay from Wessel Neiman. Puts the disappointment behind him, but will he get a go? He will get a go.
56.
Double 8. No, double 16.
Game into it.
Yeah, he finds it, and his finishing is really composed. 5 legs played. We see a 13 darter, a 14 darter, and a 14 darter from Wessel. We see a 13 and a 15 dart from Jason Askew.
41.
If it's going to take something special to see a breaker throw here, or a slip, which is what we've seen from Askew at the beginning of this leg.
100.
Quick reminder, we've seen James Hubbard Jacob Taylor and Adam Huckvale debut this afternoon. We've seen Boris Koltsov debut tonight. They've replaced Raymond Van Barneveld, Jared Cole, Rob Collins, and Richie Edhouse.
134.
We'll see those players again, hopefully, in the coming weeks, along with some new faces. Remember, keep an eye on the MODUS Darts Twitter page at MODUS180 for all the updates from A Night of the Darts and the Icon of Darts Live League.
140. 58.
This is Jason Askew's worst leg of the match. And we said it would take something special or a slip
57.
to get a break. It's been steady from Wessel. He's on 70. Askew
60.
and Jason Askew hasn't had a leg over 15 darts. Has left 145 after 15 darts here. So
38.
So it's a standard, these two players. This is the worst leg of the match. Can Askew salvage it with a 10+ finish again? He had a 137 earlier. He's not going to be joined by a 145. And Wessel Neiman is going to get 3 darts.
Game me 2.
Yeah, and that's a 17 dart break. It's the worst leg of the match, but in one sense, the best for Wessel. He's got that break. He's got some breathing space, and he throws for the match now. His average is still up above 107. 10 points ahead of Jason Askew. You feel we're going to another level now in the Icon of in the A Night of the Darts Live League. Some big averages being hit.
180.
Askew fires back.
$140.
Wessel Neiman looking to get this leg done in 12 darts.
58.
Yeah, that's so frustrating as a dart player when you get that 180 and don't back it up with at least one treble in the next visit. And Wessel Neiman's regained control. Yeah, and this is good again from the Dutchman. He's been really consistent, really impressive in this match. Jason Askew had that one sloppy leg, but that one sloppy leg is going to cost him, you feel.
$99.
Neiman lays up the shot. He'll expect a return for some match darts. Or will he? I can't get the other one. Yeah, just got a bit carried away. You feel like he rushed that second dart. So Jason Askew now.
84.
84 score, but he won't be expecting to come back.
Game in 1.
He doesn't come back, and what an accomplished performance from Wessel Neiman. 109 average. We expected big things from both players. They didn't let us down, but Wessel Neiman just had too much. He broke at the pivotal time and held with ease in the last leg, and he's got 2 wins out of 3 now, and Wessel Neiman tops the table. He's got one more match to play later on, but final result there. Wessel Neiman runs out a 5-legs-to-2 winner. It's our 7th game of the evening, just about to get a world champion, Martin. Both have played in fits and starts tonight. We saw David Evans with a disappointing start, but he did wire a 9-darter in that game, but he came back well, beating Wessel Neiman 5-3. And I've been very impressed with Martin Adams tonight. He pushed Wessel Neiman all the way and put in a comfortable performance against Boris Koltsov last time out. So this can be a close one. Martin Adams was victorious against David Evans in his last meeting on Saturday night, so he's got the beating of David Evans, but can he do it again tonight? We're going to pass over to the players now who are going to bull up, and let's get this matchup underway.
Bullseye. $25.
And it's 3 times world champion who gets us off and running here. He's been impressive tonight, Martin Adams. He was unlucky not to get by Wessel Neiman after trailing 4-1. He forced it to a deciding leg. Left 32 after 12 darts in that deciding leg, but didn't get a go. And he just dealt with Boris Koltsov in the last match. He had him at arm's length for the majority of the match. He got out in front and never let the Russian back into the tie. David Evans, in contrast, had a bit of a shocker in his first game against Jason Askew, but did come within the width of a wire of double 12 of a 9-darter. Couldn't quite convert, and it made a mess of the leg, actually. So it was a game apart from that effort to forget for David Evans, but he was quality against Wessel Neiman. He trailed by a leg to nil, but then 3-ton plus finishes in 3 legs gave him a lead that he never surrendered. And that was his first victory of the night against his arch rival. Just seen Wessel Neiman become the first player to win 2 games tonight. He's gone to the top of the table, courtesy of a 5-2 victory over Jason Askew. A high-quality affair. Wessel Neiman averaged 109. As I said, Martin Adams has got the beating of David Evans. He did beat him in the last game on Saturday. But Evans and Neiman have been the standout players
57.
in the 2 weeks of the Icon of Darts and the Night at the Darts. They've had the consistency, performing night in, night out. And we're seeing it here from David Evans again. Should get a chance to break. Well, will get a chance to break. 3 at double 18.
100.
An impressive opening leg. Only needs the 1 dart and he breaks through straight away. David Evans off and running in this matchup against Martin Adams. We saw both these players appearing at the O2 Indigo for the World Championships in January. Martin Adams lost out to 2-time world champion Scott Waite in the opening round, a game that went all the way to a deciding set. And we saw David Evans have an impressive debut. Actually debuted as the number 13 seed as well. He beat Nick Fulwell in what was a counter went all the way as well. He trailed by a set and by 2 sets to 1. He had too much in the deciding set. And then a victory over Richard Venstra, but then his campaign was ended in the last 8 phase by Mario van der Bodengard. But an impressive debut for David Evans. He's got pedigree. He's won on the Challenge Tour as well.
100.
Has been mightily impressive in the live league the last couple of weeks. Sensible play there from Evans, gets him down to a finish. He didn't have much joy at Q School, though. He had 1 run to a last 32. Never got real close to getting a tour card, did Evans.
140.
So when play resumes, he'll be on the Challenge Tour. but he'll surely be a threat on the challenge tour. He's won on it before. And he just wires the bullseye for a 170. That would have eclipsed his 10+ finishes from earlier on in the night. We've seen him take out in 3 consecutive legs against Wessel Neiman, 100, 113 and a 130. And that little passage of play, you feel, got him over the line. Chance to hold now. Last start, double 8. He does find the double 8 and consolidates the break with a hold. Evans in the driving seat here. If he wins here, the league table looks all too familiar.
100.
Wessel Neiman and Evans sharing the top 2 spots, which has been the case for last week in the Night of the Darts and the first week in the Icons of Darts Live League. Evans with a max. Give David Evans credit. He was well beaten in that first game against Jason Askew, but he just dusted it off. He just got on with it. That's what he's doing here. He's looking for another break of throw. I said in the previous game when Askew hit a 180 but backed it up with a 58. David Evans, 180 backed up by a 60. It is frustrating. You don't find at least one treble. He has been let off the hook here by Martin. Stay there. Treble leaves a finish. He finds that treble. David Evans down to 161. And crucially, is looking at another break of throw.
$140.
Martin Adams gets himself down to 122, and he'll be expecting to get a shot, and he is going to get a shot. Evans now may go 25 or treble 19. He went for the treble 19, couldn't quite pick it off. Adams will start on the 18 segment. Stay there. Double 7.
108.
Just on the wire. Great effort for Martin Adams, but how costly will that miss be? Can David Evans take advantage? He's only going to get one dart. And it's double 16 for a 3-leg lead. And he misses. Important dart incoming now for Martin Adams. He'll go straight 40. Rarely see him split on a double.
No score.
And maybe should have done on that occasion. And Evans now takes advantage and is in a real commanding position. He's got a 3-leg lead and he's got the insurance of 2 breaks a throw. He's averaging north of 100 again. And Martin Adams coming stuck on that double 7. It isn't not a nice double. Not many players like it.
180.
Martin Adams starts to the maximum, showing some fighting spirit. He's shown it in the opening game tonight against Wessel Neiman. He's going to have to show something similar here. He trailed by 3 legs in that game, 3-0 and 4-1, and forced a decider. Can he find that sort of form again? A little bit of a barrage in the scoring from David Evans.
140.
Evans, another one of them to leave 100. He does sensible darts. Adams now will look to leave the 181 handy, but he may not get another go in this leg.
45.
And doesn't leave it particularly handy. So Evans now 2 darter. We've seen him chip this already tonight. It was a bit more crucial then. He was trailing Wessel Neiman. in real control here. And Martin Adams on 136. He has to go. And it's not going to. He can just set up. So David Evans is going to return for a 4-leg lead. Despite a
96.
maximum in this leg for Martin Adams, he hasn't had a dart at a double. And Evans closes the leg out. This is impressive stuff from David Evans. A ruthless display. And Martin Adams has been afforded only those 3 darts at double 7.
140.
And that was on the back of David Evans missing at double 16. So, real good display. We've got to look at the average from Evans. Martin Adams not too shabby either. But has just been outplayed.
$100.
And again, David Evans switching down the board well. He hit 2 1-3-4s and a 1-3-3 in the last leg. He's had another 2 treble visit on the treble 19s in this leg.
45.
8 treble 19s from Evans in a leg and a half. So even when he's missing that red, he's covering well. We're seeing it again here. Doesn't leave a finish, but it's steady stuff from David Evans. 4-0 lead, 105 average.
82.
You expect a setup here from Evans. This time finds the treble. Another one of them. Big 15. He leaves 38. In likelihood, we'll get a go at it. I don't think we'll see David Evans go straight for it. I may be wrong, but I'm sure it'll be 6 for double 16 to close out a 5-0 victory.
58.
38. And it is an impressive victory from David Evans. He had too much for Martin Adams and a match average of 107. Sees him run out a 5-0 winner. Really impressed with David Evans in that game, especially after an opening defeat against Jason Askew, but it's back-to-back wins now. And him and Wessel Neiman are renewing rivalry again. They're tied at the top of the league. And we've got 3 more matches remaining tonight. David Evans wins by 5-0 over Martin Adams. And I welcome you back to DARTS. Features the impressive the Russian Boris Koltsov. Both players have recorded 10-plus averages tonight, but Wessel Neiman really put his stranglehold on the group in his last victory. Boris Koltsov didn't perform like he could against Martin Adams, and this is going to be a tough test for him. Wessel Neiman's been thriving in this format the last couple of weeks. It's his last game of the night. He's looking to top the league phase before he has his night off tomorrow, and we're going to get the players underway now.
Outside. Sorry, what? Did I go for the ball? Yeah, because I was. 25.
There's Wessel Neiman getting us up and running. It's his last match of the night. It's his last match till Wednesday night. Wessel Neiman has day off tomorrow.
1, 2, 3.
He's won 2 of his 3 matches tonight. We've seen him defeat Martin Adams. We've seen him defeat Jason Askew. He was defeated by David Evans. That's the same David Evans we've just seen run out a 5-0 winner against Martin Adams.
$40.
So Wessel Neiman win this game, would go top of the league. But David Evans has a game in hand. Game remaining, and it's against Boris Koltsov.
140.
Boris Koltsov, if he can tie up 2 victories in the last 2 games, he tops the group on night 1. And he started impressively here. Maximum in his opening throw of the match.
$84.
And Wessel. He's 114, but Boris first to the 124. It's not going to go. 62 scores. 62, 72 scored in the end. 52 remaining. Can Wessel. 114. And this is only to hold. Just steadying himself.
$96.
Can't find the double 18. So Koltsov here. Double 16. He can't find the break. And those opportunities don't come along a lot against Wessel Neiman.
10.
Oh. What did I just say? Koltsov gets more chances to break. Yeah, no mistake this time. He gets over the line eventually. Careless on the doubles, Wessel Neiman. Koltsov
180.
could cap off an impressive debut. If he can win his remaining 2 games. A big if, because they're tough games. As they all are in the night of the darts and the icons of darts.
$57.
Seen Seen a maximum apiece so far in this match. Seen that a few times tonight. Wessel Neiman joins Jason Askew. We've seen David Evans do it in the previous match. A 180 not followed by a trebleless visit.
180.
Then followed by a 180. Not too shabby from Wessel here. And he could potentially break back here in 11 darts. It's going to have to be 12 now.
Gave me 3.
And he tidies up really well after a stray first dart. 12 dart breaker throw from Wessel Neiman. Brings the scoreline to 1 leg apiece. This is match 8 of the night. We've got 2 more remaining. We've got Jason Askew and Martin Adams coming up next.
59.
Then we see Boris Koltsov return for his last game of the match against David Evans. And that'll bring the end to night 1 of this week's A Night of the Dart. Reminder, we're back underway at 11 a.m. on dartshop.tv. I'll be taking you through the action in the Icon of Darts Live League. Paul Nicholson takes on the Brazilian Diogo Portela in the opening match, which sees Aaron Monk rejoin the group. And then in the evening from 6 p.m, A Night of the Darts continues. And it'll be Chris Mason taking you through all the action. We welcome Scott Mitchell back. And this man throwing here,
60.
Wessel Neiman, gets his night off early in the week. One leg apiece here.
140.
And 180 apiece. Neiman, who broke in 12, will kick himself at losing the first leg, really. Had a 4 darts out of double. Just
70.
misses the double 16, Wessel. So chance for Boris now. This could be a 3rd consecutive breaker throw. In the bull. Double 16. Yeah, he finds it. And we do have a 3rd consecutive breaker throw. So Wessel Neiman has had a dart of double in every leg and has only converted in one of them. And the Russian Boris leads by 2 legs to 1.
One, 3, 4.
Decent averages from both players so far. Koltsov with a 177.
$44.
Switching again, Boris Koltsov with a 174. Potential of a 10 darter here. If he elects for the ball.
140.
He may do. Well, if he did, he's missed it by a mile. Double 8 this time. Yeah, sensible dart and Boris Koltsov. Our first holder throw, and an impressive holder throw. A 177 and a 174 in that leg.
140.
Daylight now for Boris Koltsov, who leads 3-1.
180.
Wessel Neiman. Who survived the scare against Martin Adams after leading 4-1. Trailed David Evans and couldn't quite claw it back. He did get back to 3-all. And David Evans rattled out the last
1,
2
2,
legs
7.
to win 5-3. He was impressive against Jason Askew. With a 109 average. And this is an impressive leg. It's only a hold. 11 darter incoming maybe for Wessel Neiman.
18.
And 18 for the double. 54. He's got time. He'll be back. 98 for Boris leaves 167, but you feel this leg's gone for the Russian. Or is it?
Gave me 3.
He finds it with his third dart. So Wessel Neiman gets within 1. We saw 3 breaks of throw in the opening 3 legs. Boris Koltsov will be hoping we see 3 holes of throw
100.
in the next 3 legs, and that'll mean he'll be 4-2 up and will be 1 leg away from his second victory tonight.
$140.
Wessel Neiman is forcing the issue here. 9 darts without a treble for Boris Koltsov. Gifts Wessel Neiman advantage in this leg.
100.
And he's capitalising. He's down to 161 already. Boris Koltsov, even with a maximum, can only leave 145. He's not going to. Finally finds a treble. Well, a big treble. Probably too little too late, you feel, in his leg. Wessel just looking to lay up.
3.
It's a slight chance now for Boris. Careless visit from Wessel Neiman. He's down to a finish. Seen 130 go already tonight from David Evans. Boris may not get a go. Top to Wessel.
Gave me 3.
Yeah, he finds it. And Wessel Neiman, like he did against David Evans, he trailed 3-1 and got back to 3-all. He couldn't finish the job. Can he on this occasion?
$180.
On this occasion, he has the darts. And a perfect start in leg 7.
$93.
Yeah, and Wessel Neiman now has a healthy lead in this 7th leg. Looking for the 3rd leg on the spin to go within 1 of victory.
180.
And what would complete a steady night's work? 3 wins from 4. This is for 11 darter, and it is an 11 darter. Impressive stuff from the Dutchman. His average now up around the 100, well, close to 104. And the trebles have dried up for Koltsov now from 3-1. Wessel's played well, but
60.
the key one was leg 6, where Boris couldn't find a treble in the first 9 darts. Basically surrendered that breaker throw he had back to Wessel Neiman. He's not going to just give this away to Wessel Neiman. He finds a maximum here.
60.
Are we going to see Wessel Neiman involved in a last leg shootout for the 2nd time tonight? It's looking like we are.
$140.
Koltsov now, time to set up. Leaves 64. So 140, 180 could force the issue a bit here.
96.
Boris won't feel too much pressure from that visit. 16 for the double for 4-3. Can't find it. So what a way to close out victory this would be for Wessel Neiman. 145. Not going to go. So we're going to see Koltsov return.
40.
and closes out. Forces Wessel to throw for the match.
One, three, four.
A 2 treble visit. He'd have taken that. Koltsov fires back with a 2 treble visit of his own, but Neiman still has a slender advantage.
96.
Picks off that treble 19. So it's forcing Koltsov to find 2 trebles again. And he does find 2 trebles. So Wessel Neiman coming down the board. He may go for the bull here. Went straight back up.
59.
You often see on the 171 the treble 19, 19, 25. That's what Wessel was trying. Koltsov lets him off the hook, so to speak. A little bit of nerves creeping in on Wessel here.
140.
That's a good visit. Koltsov with a 140 or 136 will really pressure the 72. The ton doesn't apply massive pressure. The 136 does. Wessel Neiman now needs to take this out, or Koltsov gets a chance to level up and he becomes favourite for the match.
$39.
And Wessel makes a real mess of it. Gets a match start at the bullseye, but Koltsov's not punishing. He doesn't pounce on the errors from Neiman. Will he get another go? Double 16. Double 12 now.
9.
No, both players missing in this leg. They know how important it is. Can Boris close out? He does. And Boris Koltsov now will throw for the match. Wessel Neiman has missed 3 darts for the match. And now he has to find... Correction, sorry. Boris Koltsov closes out the match there by 5 legs to 4. An impressive display from the Russian. He knows now victory in the last leg. And he wins the group phase on day 1 of a night of the darts. And we're just approaching our penultimate. Take legit 5 from Wessel Neiman. So he's played well tonight. Martin Adams has played well in patches. He came back at Wessel Neiman and closed out victory against Boris Koltsov, but it was whitewashed in his last game. So you'd have to say Jason Askew starts the game favourite, but Martin Adams will dig in deep, that's for sure. It's going to be a close one, and we're going to get the players underway in just a moment.
Bullseye. Outside.
Bullseye.
So Jason Askew gets us underway. Was our penultimate matchup of the night. We've just seen Boris Koltsov win by 5-4 against Wessel Neiman. A bit caught up in that one myself, lost track of the score, but impressive nevertheless from the Russian. He's been clinical tonight. He was a bit sloppy against Martin Adams, but he's beaten Jason Askew. He's beaten Wessel Neiman. He will now go into the last game of the night, what will be a top of the table clash with David Evans. There'll be no calculations or anything there. It's pretty simple. Whoever wins that tops the league phase.
140.
These two with a leg swing could still potentially finish second with a victory here. Been impressed with Askew tonight. He's playing against different players from last week. He was in the Icons of Darts Live League last week, and he won that quite comfortably in the end. But he started well tonight, beat David Evans 5-1. It's taken something pretty special to defeat him, really. He was beaten 5-1 by Boris with 104 average. Then we saw 109 average from Wessel Neiman in defeating him 5-2.
100.
So if Askew can close out victory here, he'll feel that's a satisfactory night's work. He won't be overly happy, but satisfactory 2 from 4 in his first night. He's down to a finish first here.
$60.
Martin Adams just had no answer for David Evans in his last outing, losing 5-0. Had a go at 3 darts at 7-7, but that was the only sort of luck he had in the match. He was well and truly beaten, and he acknowledged at the end of the match how well David Evans played. Adams can't find the trebles for the 156, so
140.
opening throwing, holder throwing coming from Jason Askew if he hits the 16. Finds it with his opening dart and he holds. He leads here. He's the 3 times world champion.
$81.
Both players, remember, back in action tomorrow night. Along with the 2 we'll see in our last match, David Evans and Boris Koltsov. And we welcome back the 2015 world champion, Scott Mitchell. As Wessel.
140.
The break in proceedings. And he'll be disappointed that he let that match slip. He had match start against Boris Koltsov. It would have been 3 wins from 4. Instead, he finishes with 2 from 4.
96.
I think that is the first time. It is, in fact, Koltsov, Wessel Nima has not won
125.
the opening league phase. He won the league phase last Monday. He won the league phase the Monday before. He's not going to tonight. He's not going to hit the ground running like he has in previous weeks.
$60.
100.
A turn from Jason gets him down to 140. But Martin Adams now 95. Will he look at the ball or the treble 19? 20 or treble 20 with his next dart. It's bullseye for the levelers up, and he's nowhere near. We've seen Jason Askew take out a 137 tonight. Can we see a 140 from Askew? We're not going to. Just a bit too high. But a turn will leave it nice.
60.
Can't sneak in the corner. So Adams now. Double 8. Just inside.
17.
I can't convert. So Askew now. 80. Should get minimum of data tops. And that's what it's going to be. 20 for top of the shop.
40.
That would have been for the 2-leg lead. Slow start from both players here.
Game in 1.
Martin Adams will be happy. He's got that holder throw. Got there in the end.
$100.
Turn for Askew. He was impressive
58.
last week. Suffered a couple of defeats here and there. A sloppy one against Jared Cole where he was whitewashed 5-legs to 0. But on the whole, he was consistent last week. And comfortably ran out winner. Aaron Monk and Andy Jenkins could have caught him on the last day, but he needed a big swing of legs and results. In the end, Jason Askew had too much. He got the job done.
140.
$91.
Don't forget, 6 p.m. tomorrow, we're back underway in the Night of the Darts on Dart Shop TV. Chris Mason taking you through the action. We kick off with
85.
David Evans again, but this time a different opponent. He takes on Scott Mitchell in the opening match of the night. David Evans, if he's victorious in his last game, could be going into that game as the league leader. Ask you there, just trying to switch the treble 18. Was unlucky, really, just in the corner of treble 1. Adams is going to apply some pressure here.
140.
There's a bit of pressure. Ask you now, treble 17, 20 or the treble.
Game in 3.
And it was the bullseye route, and Jason Askew holds throw again. He leads by 2 legs to 1. That's the best leg of the match, 15 darts from Askew.
$140.
Boris Koltsov and Jason Askew coming into this group is definitely going to add a different dimension.
100.
Raymond van Barneveld last week was just starting to find his feet at the end of the week, but he's having a week off. He'll be back next week. Richie Edhouse was pretty unlucky, to be fair. He should have done better. He'll admit his doubling wasn't the best, but some of his scoring displays were phenomenal.
55.
He was involved in a real high to 1-2-1. Adams he's a minimum score of 96. Got to switch down the board. Does. Should leave a finish unless he goes wayward.
34.
He does. That's good dart to Martin Adams to lead 1-3-2. Ask you now though, to strike the first blow. What would be a break of the double 14?
107.
Just goes inside and he'll return for double 7. You've only got to ask Martin Adams how awkward that double can be. He missed 3 at it at a crucial part in the match earlier on. David Evans would have given him a foothold in the tie. Went straight for it and missed.
60.
60 scored there. Will we see Askew go straight for it? He is going straight for it. Is he going to make... He doesn't make the same mistake as Adams. He converts, and there's the first break. Jason Askew now on his way to completing his second victory of the night, which will be 2 wins out of 4 on his opening night of the night of the darts. Starts for the 140. You take that and you've broken throw. You just want to kick off the next leg. You don't want to give your opponent instant hope of breaking throw straight back.
81.
Start with a 140. You're forcing your opponent and do something pretty special. We'll have a bit of bad luck with Jason had there. It's a 180 Askew. Yeah, you saw early on, he's an Askew. A bit of bad luck. He hit a big score and had a bounce out on the floor. He's in complete control of this leg and the match now. This will take him 1 away. And
52.
Martin Adams spent a lot of his night chasing down opponents. He was 4-1 down. Almost got it back against Wessel Neiman.
60.
He was whitewashed by David Evans 5 legs to 0. He's looking like going 4-1 down here. He was the front runner in the game against Boris Koltsov, and he closed out victory, but he's found it hard chasing players down. And Jason Askew, courtesy of a good start leg, afforded the luxury just laying up the 1-2-9. And incoming now, we expect Askew to take a 4-1 lead. Got time, plenty of it. And he closes out with a 15 dart hold. Jason Askew is one leg away from completing victory over the 3 times world champion Martin Adams.
$100.
Steady start from Martin Adams. He was in this position against Wessel earlier and did force the deciding leg and was almost complete the comeback. It wasn't for the quality bit of finishing from the Dutchman.
$96.
A reminder, Evans and Koltsov to finish us off in this evening session. Winner will be the league leader and win the league phase on night 1 at a night of the darts. Adams ain't done yet. He'll keep chipping away. He never gives up.
$81.
Adams, courtesy of a treble of visit in this leg, should be first to a finish.
$43.
A sloppy visit there. He drifted into the 5, which forced him to have to try and find a treble. What's you got?
$58.
6 starts out the treble, so bit of time for Martin, but he keeps drifting into that 5 segment.
$55.
Adams just stuttered a bit in this leg. He had the lead, and there we go. Askew jumped in there. And Askew now. That's Martin Adams. That's a slip. Askew will get to match darts.
85.
2 of them to close out. A comfortable victory in the end. 17 for double 16. Double 8 now for Askew. and he finds a double and a comfortable victory for Jason Askew in the end, 5-1 over Martin Adams. He's got 2 victories from 4 tonight, Jason Askew. That's a satisfactory return. He was well beaten in 2 of the games, but he came up against unstoppable performances from Boris Koltsov and from Wessel Neiman. He runs out a 5-1 victory here, and we've got 1 match remaining tonight, and it will settle who wins the league phase on night 1 at a night from the darts. Last game of the evening coming up. David Evans takes on the Russian, Boris Koltsov. Phase on night 1 at a night from the darts. Last game of the evening coming up. David Evans takes on the Russian, Boris Koltsov. And welcome back to the evening. David Evans have suffered one defeat, but have been very impressive in the games they've won. David Evans whitewashing Martin Adams and Boris Koltsov at that 105 average in his debut match. So it's all to play for here tonight. The winner of this match will top the league phase for tonight and will go into tomorrow night's action as the overall league leaders. So it's a big game early on for both players, and we're going to get the game underway in just a minute.
$25. 25.
And Evans strikes the first blow there, winning the bullseye. Here's the Russian Boris Koltsov. Both players being impressive. But they both had that below par performance tonight. We've seen Evans in the opening match lose to Jason Askew by 5 legs to 1. Boris Koltsov was sloppy against Martin Adams. He was defeated by 5 legs to 3, but he played well against Wessel Neiman, survived match darts, and sets up this clash now where there's no calculations needed. The winner of this game wins the league phase tonight and tops the league overall going into day 2. Martin Adams, who will finish bottom of the pile. He's only had 1 win. Wessel Neiman's had 2. Jason Askew's had 2. One of these gentlemen's going to have 2. One of them's going to have 3 on top of the table. Seen Evans wire a 9 darter tonight as well. That was probably his only highlight of the opening match of the night, and he went on to lose that leg. It was a game to forget, but what he's good at is putting disappointment behind him. He lost the first leg. He was well beaten, but 2 impressive performances against Wessel. Martin Adams, particularly Martin Adams, where he won 5 legs to 0. And he opens up his account with a 15 dart holder throw here.
96.
Starts with a 1040. Either way, Koltsov, if he does suffer defeat in this last match, he's been impressive on debut tonight. 2 victories from 4 is the minimum he'll get tonight, but what a statement it would be if he could close out victory here, top the league after 1 night.
60.
But his throw's under threat already. And Evans, despite that first defeat, has been in no mood to let opponents off the hook. That's what he does well. He deals with disappointment. He has a dart on the floor there, but still pounces to get a maximum score with 2 darts of 120. And he now looks at 107 for a 12 dart breaker throw. Not going to get the break on this occasion, but he leaves double 8, and it's forcing Boris Koltsov to take out the 105 to stay in touch early here.
Game in 3.
And Koltsov does just that. What a finish, and in double quick time. Levels up at 1 apiece, back-to-back 15 darters. He's the game level at 1 leg apiece.
$100.
Koltsov, when he throws so quick, so when he's on those turn combinations, it's like a double sucker punch, really, because those turn pluses, when you're waiting on a finish, you think you're going to get a chance, but in a split second, he leveled up this match then.
80 score.
So we've seen both players in their respective World Championships beginning of the year. Koltsov was defeated by Richie Edhouse. She'd be disappointed
100.
with. He'd have seen that as an okay draw. Richie Edhouse performed well, defeating Boris 3-1. We saw David Evans get to the quarterfinals in the Indigo. And he debuted there as a 13 seed. That's impressive. That's how impressive he was on the BDO Tour last year. Steady performer throughout and has won this year on the BDO Tour in Slovakia. He's throwing the pressure now.
96.
Koltsov gets a dart to break, but just misses the ball. Evans isn't going to take the 136 because Koltsov's going to get a chance to break through here. 9 for double 8. Quickly to the board. Double 8 now, last dart. Big dart. And he does get the breaker throw. Seen many of them against David Evans in the last week or so. 18 dart breaks. He's been that prolific on his throw.
140. $180.
Koltsov finds in a maximum. He's starting to take control of the match.
$123.
And again, Koltsov just seems to be rapid. Throwing his dart. He's down 58 and a 180 for David Evans, but not going to apply any pressure. Tops for an 11 darter.
18 score.
He won't be too alarmed. He'll be back. David Evans. That maximum does get him down to 203, but courtesy of Koltsov having a 180 in the leg as well and him having the dart, he's going to get another go for the 3-1 lead. And this time he converts. Boris Koltsov, 2 legs away from capping off what would be an impressive debut.
$100.
Time to open us up. David Evans is under pressure here now, and he does pick off a treble with his last dart. He needed that treble.
140.
Koltsov, with a 2 treble visit, gives himself a little bit of breathing space. What's Evans got now? That's a pretty impressive response. His last game was plain sailing, all David Evans, 5 legs to 0. He had 3 ton plus finishes against Wessel Neiman, but again, potentially, Koltsov setting up a never breaker throw. Again, David Evans responds as we expect. It's out of his hands. 12 for the bullseye, a treble for double 13. He misses the 12 segment completely. That's the downside. Koltsov's throwing so quick. He's just rushed that dart at the 12. He's thinking about the bullseye. He does leave 32, so big darts now for Evans. He's going to get 2 at double 8. Double 4 to stay in touch. He does stay in touch. Big dart and a big response from David Evans. And closes the gap to 3-2. Opportunity missed, you feel, for the Russian in that leg. But he still has the darts.
140.
Koltsov won't be too alarmed. He's got the darts.
180.
And he's certainly making them count here. His third 180 of the match.
90 score.
Koltsov now. He's been on potential 11 dart legs in his last 3
Game in
legs.
3.
And he makes it count here in 12 darts. Koltsov is 1 away from what would be an impressive debut at a night of the darts.
$96.
Evans won't go away. He's digging deep over the last 2 weeks when he's had to. He's going to have to do it tonight. He needs 3 legs on the spin if he's going to win the league phase on night 1.
$97.
Yeah, this is impressive from Evans. It's been a real good game. Similar averages, but it's Koltsov who has that one crucial breaker throw. Don't be overly concerned. This leg's running away from him. He's got the darts in the 8th leg. He'll apply some pressure here if he can, but it's all about the next leg for the Russian to cap off what will be a great night's work.
83.
And Evans holds on to the Russian's coattail with a 13 dart leg, but Koltsov now has the darts
180.
and starts with a maximum. He's well on his way to a 3rd victory from 4. 180, 134, 104 average. Impressive stuff on opening night from Boris Koltsov. Not enough David Evans, nowhere near enough. He's got to be looking to take 3, 4, 7 out in 6 darts if he gets a chance. Koltsov needs 91. So 91 to close out victory. What would be his second 12 darts of the match?
10 score.
Strange one from Boris, but shouldn't prove too costly. But what's David Evans got here? It may well do. Match start coming. And he gets over the line. Boris Koltsov with an impressive debut tonight clinches a 5-3 victory over David Evans. He wins 3 games from 4 and he wins the league phase on his debut. The Russians out in front and we welcome back Scott Mitchell in the Night of Darts tomorrow. We're back underway at 11 a.m. tomorrow on dartshop.tv. Paul Nicholson and the Brazilian Diego Portela kicking us off in the Icon of Darts Live League. And then we return with a night at the darts at 6 p.m. Also on dartshop.tv. We kick off with the gentleman we just seen defeated there, David Evans. He takes on the 2015 world champion. That's all streamed live, and Chris Mason will call you through the action on Dartshop TV tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Join us then.